pitching a shutout against Tennessee Tech?
You know, there's some good and some bad. I mean, the film's never as good as you expect and never as bad as you think, as you expect. But I mean, the positives were we got a lot of young players to play. Darryl Taylor up front, I think, showed well. You know, Cortez McDowell had an interception. And, you know, at one point in there, Balin Buchanan, Marquell Osborne, and Nigel Warrior were all on the back end. So that was a great experience for those guys. And, you know, a lot of good things. Held them to 68 yards rushing. The last 2 weeks, we kind of got the run defense going in the right direction anyway. You know, I think we were 11 out of 16 on third down, so the second week in a row we achieved that goal. You know, I think from the bye week to now, we're starting to play a little bit better, and the players are gathering some confidence. And a shutout's hard against anybody. So that's a great win for our players. We're really excited about that.
How much is the run defense improvement attributed to Darren Kirkland's return?
Some. You know, I think it has to do some with the fact that we didn't play Texas A&M and Alabama. I mean, I think, you know, if you really go back and study the 9 games, and I've done it a lot, and Mike, you and I talked about this. I don't know where Mike is. You know, we haven't played poor run defense except for those 2 games. And if you really look at it, I said this the other day, and here is my stats. You asked about this? So in run defense, you know, we talked about this. The thing that's kind of interesting is we've had 380 rush attempts against us. Think about it, 380. I'd suggest to you, after watching the film and studying it and analyzing it, 358 of the snaps, we played pretty big league. We give up 2.8 yards a rush on 358 of the snaps. Now the other 22 snaps have been atrocious. You know, as bad can be. You know, so the numbers are a little bit skewed there. You know, you talk about coach always asks me how efficient were we. We've been efficient, but the big and explosive plays against us are what we haven't done a very good job capturing at the second and third level.
Bob, I guess
by pursuing to the ball better and tackling at the second and third level. You know, we just haven't done well in those situations. When the ball gets to the second and third level, whether it's a linebacker tracking it down, whether it's a safety being the last line of defense as his position description would entail, has to do a better job.
As a follow-up to that, what do you do in the last line of defense with Evan being out now? What's your TK had to play the whole game because Stephen Griffin didn't play. Where are you at?
No, he didn't. Malik Gatewood got in there at the end. We had Malik Gatewood. We had Devin Williams in. Devin Williams had a pass breakup.
I apologize.
No,
but what do you do at the safety spot?
Like I said, all season long we've had a next man up mentality, whether it's been at D tackle, whether it's been at linebacker, whether it's been in the secondary, and the guys have gone out and given everything they've got. You know, it's disappointing. I thought Evan had played fairly well against South Carolina and started off against Tennessee Tech pretty well, and obviously Michael went back in there, and then we didn't want to risk anything with him. So we ended up playing Nigel the majority of the second half, and I think he ended up being our leading tackler. He won our Orange Swarm Award this week, which we're very excited about. And again, he's a work in progress. He's very, very talented, and he's going to be a great player. But you know, there's some things maybe that I see that you guys don't. You know, missing an assignment, not covering a guy, not being in the right position. That against South Carolina hurt us. That maybe against Tennessee Tech didn't. But to answer your question, Stephen Griffin will be back. He's practicing today. Todd Kelly has played through injuries all year and been a steady rock back there. We think Mike is going to be able to play, and Nigel. So you know, those 4 guys will play this week, and we've got a really good challenge playing a good team against Kentucky.
Bob, you mentioned Nigel being kind of work in progress. How much can the experience he's got in the last 2 games kind of speed up that progress? And speed
Incredibly,
up
I hope. I mean, he came in and watched the film after the South Carolina game, saw the things he did well, saw the things he did poorly. You know, he and I talked immediately after the game about him upping his investment, you know, as we move forward here. And you know, everybody's banged up at the end of the year, and everybody's requiring players to step up, you know, all over the country. You see whether it's Ole Miss and their quarterback or someone else and this player and that player and the other thing. So, I mean, we talked to him about upping his investment during the course of the week so that he's ready to go on Saturday.
He obviously brings an element of physicality and extra speed to that back end. Is it just the mental aspect of the defense that he really kind of...
Inexperience.
Inexperience.
Yeah. Good.
Because Butch was saying that, you know, he's going to compete for a starting spot this week, so obviously it's just consistency in his performance.
Yeah, you know, it's to play high-level defense at this level. I think you need there's a certain amount of attention to detail, precision, and all those things. And right now, he's still learning those things. You know, he certainly has a good skill set. I said that's in camp, and his level of investment has improved each week. And like I said, I mean, I'm excited, and I saw great progress over the last 2 weeks. He didn't do everything well. He got a pass interference call this week, didn't cover a guy one time, and there's some things he made mistakes on, and he's aware of it. I think that's the first step. Like 4 weeks ago, he made a mistake and didn't know he made a mistake. Now he makes a mistake and he comes to silence and says, I should have done this. And so we're making progress, and we're going to need him to play really well these last 3 weeks.